I'm going to continue work on my comic book page, which I started yesterday but didn't complete. So, yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm going to be watching some Jim Lee whilst I draw. Whilst I draw. That's actually true. That's actually true. Hello Steven, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. How's your day going, my friend? How's it going? I am currently working on my comic book page. What the hell is going on? Did I switch pen? No, brush size. Yeah, I'm currently working on my comic book page. It's been fun. I tried doing this like for, it's a fight scene rather of like two characters. They're fighting. One is trying to eat the other, I believe. Uh, I had not figured out the texturing for this character, but apparently I did so yesterday. So that was good fun. And now I'm listening to Jim Lee whilst I draw, which is fun. I 100% recommend whilst you're drawing. Maybe just put on a top artist. And subconsciously, I've been imputing new information into my brain. So I've been learning like new things and stuff and how to approach it. Because one of my problems when drawing usually is the fact that I tend to use a lot of layers. I can get a bit fidgety when I'm drawing comics. It's not like I don't have the capability for it. It's just that sometimes I take too long to make decisions when I'm drawing, and that can be very frustrating. Instead of me to just like draw like straight up, I would just like take forever to just execute. And whenever I'm seeing an artist, like, or I'm hearing an artist brush or something like that, that can just be sort of like a reassurance for me to not take it so seriously. There are this what do they call them? There are things we know as artists, as creatives, that we should not do, like, or right way to approach things, a right way to think. But you don't really ever, like, you might have that, like, and you know that in theory, but when the time comes for you to actually put that information or that wisdom into practice, you it becomes quite difficult to execute. So most times that's why, it's good to be reminded. Most of the time we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught new things. uh that's my one of my philosophies, at least. All right, I think I'm going to just stick with that. I'm going to just fill up the wings of this monster in your head. We are stars. Oh, God, I'm going to have to fix that. We are stars. So currently, let me just fill up the wings. Like, it's weird wing looking thing. Hello, Scott. How you doing? How's your day going? Just a little bit of value, like, because I don't want to color it. I don't want to spend too much time over detailing, because there's a lot of ways I could make the image like look a lot better. I could add more hatching lines, more contrast, and things like that. But I just I just want to be wise about my time management. This is a Clip Studio Paint. Clip Studio Paint on iPad Pro. That's where I'm making the comic from. I think this is what's the version? There are two versions, so I think this is the expert version. Anyways, I'm going to detail the tongue a bit, or tongues rather, plural. It has several tongues, several weird looking tongue thingy. Monsters stuck in your head. We are stars. Yeah, Procreate is also nice. I used Procreate for my storyboarding. I really like Procreate, especially like there's this new brush set I got a few months ago. So it has made like drawing on Procreate a lot more fun than it was before. Like, it was fun. Like, my drawing experience on Procreate was really good before, but now it has like elevated another level. And I didn't think that was possible. Uh yeah, I love Procreate. I usually use Procreate to do like studies, because there are times when I do artistic studies on on the channel here, and I would use Procreate to like do the inking and things like that, and like drawings and studies in general. Like, if I was studying like anatomy study or perspective study or stuff like that, I'll just use Procreate. But because this is a much more like personal project, it's my comic, so I'm just using Clip Studio Paint. I just like the organization that it has. Even though I did some of the storyboarding earlier in Procreate, I prefer Clip Studio Paint. I prefer Clip Studio Paint. Clip Studio Paint is just amazing. It just has everything. It just has everything. If I were to pick like a drawing software to use for the rest of my life, I'd pick Clip Studio Paint. It's just phenomenal. The variety, the options you have to like, it's just so immense. So it's a top software, and it's easy to learn too. Like, it's not difficult at all. It's easy to learn. You just spend the weekend with it and you'll be good. But Procreate is also good as well, you know. It's also good as well. I used Procreate to do a lot of my commission works, a lot of the paid jobs. Like I've used it to do hundreds upon hundreds of works, you know, that has paid for my lifestyle. No, no, not Cliff. Clip. Let me write it down for you. It's Clip. Clip Studio. Let me write it with a different color pen. Clip Studio. Studio Paint. Clip Studio Paint. That's the name. Monster stuck in your head. All right, I'm just going to calm down with that one. Let's do the next panel. Yeah, stars. Oh, whoa. Let me look at the architecture. So I'm going to have to draw like this building over here. I'm going to have to draw some of it and put it down here. Um, but I don't want to draw it again, so I'm just going to have to go and source for the file. I'm going to have to go and source for the file. Chapter 6. Let's see. Where is it? There we go. I swear this app will be doing too much sometimes. All right, there it is. That's the page I'm looking for. Look how heavy the page is, man. All right, there's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for right there. I'll just put it all in a folder and just take it. Let it all work out. Yeah, this is a sketch. I'm going to take that, then put it here. Say panel 3. I'll just title this panel 3. Damn. All right, let me organize it properly. Monsters stuck in your head. So if you think about even a shoulder, right? Light comes over here. So where's that shadow go? I have an apple for a shoulder. Now the bicep is kind of a long crap. Maybe it's a banana. Same thing, like it's a how big is our baby? Get a shadow. That's your foreshadow. You have like other side. That's your shadow. And then you have piercing outside. And come up connect the shadows up. Render out the shadows. Great. Oh, that's beautiful. Great. More variation, textures. So if you have a breast there, same thing, more shadow. All right, light's coming from the left. The rotation, which is funnel type shapes of the funnels are more shadow. Related, right? The fall. Foreshadows are very light on both sides, you get double light effect. You get foreshadow on each side. This is the stronger dominant one. Does that make sense? Everyone say yes. Banana boob. Yes. Great. That's what I want to do. Everything's apples. Yes. Everything's apples. Eat fruits. Perfect. Great. I feel like we're all doing something. Time wise respect. So that's what it's about. Right? Except I put the shadow in. I put it on. That's right. That's all personal preference. I could go ahead and drop that shadow. And that's a luxury. I'm going to choose to keep it. Keep it. It's a sketch. Sketches. Anyway, so go back to the white out here. Random sketches. Take this. So you have some kind of effects here. It's just kind of works out the functions. Trial and error. I don't know how. So it's through practice. After a while, you realize, okay, that method looks good. These are reflections. That's above. This is done. What the hell, man? Why isn't? Ah, there you are. Causing me torture and pain. Mm. De la Fuente. Okay. Let me fill it up. All right. I think Morris is good. Now that I think about this red and yellow, or is it orange? Red and yellow. It actually makes sense for like the action and speed that I'm looking for. And it has made me think about the fact that I probably need to do a study on color theory and properly understand like colors as a concept and how to properly apply them. Because in as much as I won't be using colors for um for a lot of the work that I'll be doing, I'll still have to use for like the lettering, most of the action, the lettering, like the sound effects, I might use colors just to make it pop out a bit. But I don't want it to sort of like overshadow the actual drawing itself. Just that could become a problem. Let me see. Mm. I want it to be definite. Or maybe I did too much with the font. It's possible that I did too much with the font. What do you think of the font? Is it too much? Or maybe I added too much speed lines. I think I added too much speed lines because they're supposed to be crashing and like coming out of this building over here like this. I don't know. I'll try something else. I'll try like make it simple. I probably made it too much, too hard. How is this guy so fast? By the way, it's crazy. I mean, I know how he's fast, but like it's mind-boggling when you're actually experiencing it. That is really fast. You know what? I hear it. I need to use that. I overthink things too much sometimes. It's not that deep. Nipa no. Yo, Grey Ghost, how you doing? It's been a while. It's been a while indeed. How's school going? How's school going for you? How's everything? Have you been writing? What have you been doing? What am I confused about? I need this neck twisting just a little bit. I think it's okay like this. I think I'm right. Finally done with exams. Well, almost. Got some practicals left and I'll be free. I can't wait because I've barely had time for myself. Yeah, I understand. Exams can be very, very draining, like in all aspects of your life. So many things you would want to do, but you can't do them because you have papers. So, yeah, I can relate. I can relate. Pure exhausting. Very exhausting. Very exhausting. Is this how many exams do they even write in a semester? God, I've forgotten everything about school. I've forgotten the schedule, I've forgotten everything. What I wanted to ask was like if there are like two like exams that you take before you go to the next class above. That's what I was trying to think about. Whether it's just one exams or two exams. Oh yeah, usually there are two exams, 2 semesters. Yeah, 2 semesters. My plan here is to twist the arm, but it seems to not be twisting in the right way. Yes, I actually finished a very long time ago. I think it was it 2023? I think was when I graduated. We didn't even graduate. They just told us, here's your testimonial. Get out of here. Um and yeah, we left. I had to come back to school because we did NYSC, and I had to come back like from where I was because I was in a different state. So um and because the school was just delaying, they were just delaying everything, and I couldn't just I didn't have the patience to just wait for them, so I just left and like actually started my life somewhere else. Um, and after some time, they told me to come and pick up my testimonial, so that was when I was done. And I came back, picked the testimonial, and then they asked us to do like NYSC. I did it reluctantly. I just did it for my parents so that they will have peace of mind. I mean, I tried to do it. I didn't, and I ended up not doing it because they didn't post me to the part of the country I wanted. So I wasn't going to like pay rent, new rent again in another part of the country when I had already been paying rent in another part of the country where I was staying. So yeah, I mean, I did my best. I wasn't able to be relocated, so I just quit. Although I did do the what the hell do they call it? I think there's like you spend like 4 weeks or is it 3 weeks in a camp where they give you like orientation and training, very boring stuff. Yeah, even when I was at school, I wasn't like that into it. Like there were people that actually took it very seriously, especially given the state of my country. Like bro, there's no job outside. like and that was around the time I started actually doing freelance because I started freelance immediately I entered as a secondary university. That was when I started doing freelancing on Fiverr. Tried Upwork. Upwork didn't work, but yeah. So whenever the lecturers don't come to class or they were misbehaving, I'll just sit down in the back and draw, do my do the job that can actually put food on my table and pay the school fees. Regardless, it was an alright experience schooling. It was an alright experience. Socialization is important. If I hadn't gone to school, I'll probably have just been at home all day, just working and never go out. Yeah, that's not good for a person's mentality, person's brain. Do-do-do-do. Hmm. I studied an almost useless course called uh, History and International Studies. I'll caveat it with the fact that, like, the reasons I went to that school was, I like seeing my mom smile. Yeah, I don't like fighting with her a lot, so I like seeing her happy. So I like you going to school for a few years would do that for her, and so be it. At that time, I wasn't that interested in schooling at all. Like I already knew what I wanted to do to a large extent, and it wasn't whatever it is I was going to study there. So yeah, but I did it, but I chased like what I wanted to do on the side whilst I wrote exams and attended classes. In fact, I would say going to school gave me more perspective and made me even more decisive regarding what I wanted to do. So, in its own way, it was a blessing. History and international studies. That's what I did. I promise you, I've forgotten a lot of the history that was taught in that class, in those classes, uh, because I just studied to just pass exams. And that's the problem with most of this the education system. You know, most of the time they don't educate you. They just teach you how to pass exams. And then you become really good at passing exams. Okay, what do I do with this face? This face is facing like this. Is she pissed off? Is there text? Is there dialogue? I don't think there's dialogue in this panel. I don't think there is. Dum, doo, doo, doo. Mm. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Um, how does she look again? Sometimes I just forget her face. I mean, I understand like what's going on her face, but sometimes it's just bare confusing. Doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo. Uh-uh-uh-uh. Where's my favorite? Where is it now? Where is it? Doo-doo-doo. Uh-uh-uh-uh. Yeah, go, yeah, go, yeah, go, yeah, go, 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 go. Oh, there we go. I'm surprised you didn't do final. But knowing Nigerian parents, I bet they wouldn't have liked it. Same here, actually. I already have no idea what we did last semester. That's true. That's true. What they were telling me was that what they were telling me was that yeah, you can always like, what's that thing they call it in, forgotten the name of, like, I've forgotten the terminology for it. But it's this thing where you are doing a course, you have a main course, and then you can transfer to another course. Um, you can transfer to another course, like maybe after a session or something. But then you'd still be in, like, you still be progressing in terms of your class. So let's say you're doing computer science and you don't like it or you don't want to continue, you might be eligible or have the good grades enough to be able to do something else, as long as it's around that, like science, computer science. So yeah, they told me like, yo, you can always go back and do fine arts and things like that. I was just like, allow it, man, allow it. Even most of the things that they were teaching in the fine arts, I mean, I'm 100% sure I would have been a lot better as an artist, 100%, because you're focusing a lot more on fine arts and things like that. You can do things like sculpture, you can do things like tie and dye and all those stuff. But yeah, I already entered history and international studies. I just said I'll stick with it. Just decided to stick with it. Plus, I actually had a bit of a fight with my parents at some points, as all young adults do, regarding like the art stuff. Because it was at that same time I was able to, um, luckily enough for me, I was able to find someone where I stayed that did digital art. She was like the only person I knew that did digital art around that area. And I was very inspired by that fact. And I began like mentoring under him. And, he helped me out a lot. He showed me the ropes of how the industry worked and how to suffer. Uh, yeah, but like, most times I would like to sleep in the studio overnight, and usually we do have problems where we stay. It's a bit risky. There's like crisis and stuff like that. So you know, parents, parents, when you just entered university, it's going to be they just can't, they just want you, they just want you to be close by. They can get a bit possessive. Anyways, we had a disagreement about staying in the studio all week and not coming home at all. Yeah, so but eventually we sorted out our differences with a little disobedience here and there, a little youthful, what's the word? What's the word? Youthful rebellion. Is that how they call it? I was very obnoxious to deal with, very boneheaded. I didn't acquiesce, and yeah, I was able to stay in the studio for a very long time. That's how I was able to make enough money to sort out my life, basically. But it was hard. Damn, that studio was an oven sometimes. You just be cooking whilst you're drawing, and you'll be like, you're enjoying the drawing and you're new to digital art, so you want to experiment this, you're having so much fun. But at the same time, you're like, bruh, I'm getting cooked. So it happens. Yep, I think that should be it for this angle. Let me look at her face. I want to see your face, your face, your face. Dun, 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 dun. No, that's not my lady. Uh, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? There you are. Let me see if I'm messing up with this. Or is she pissed off? All right. Look at that. It's so almost been an hour. That's fair. Plus, I sometimes hear that it's not worth going to art school. My parents also call me very stubborn, but I wonder why when I'm literally a carbon copy of them. Exactly. Exactly. The funny thing about when they call you stubborn, or like they say you're acting a certain way, usually that's the way that's their literal behavior. That's their attitude themselves. They're just you're just a mirror of them. You're just a mirror of them. So you're just giving, what's that stuff? What's that computer term? Garbage in, garbage out. You're just receiving what you put in. All right, let me detail this bad boy. Do I need to add another extra arm? Where's the arm? And the thing about it is, usually they just love you so much that they just want to protect you. Yeah, they don't want any harm to come to you. But the problem is that you like the person will never grow if the person never experiences some form of trials or tribulations. That's just the thing about life. You need to give them room. Well, the children, give them room to make mistakes. And that's the same thing even in every relationships, with your friends, the rest of your family, your partner, whoever. Sometimes you don't need to talk too much. You just offer your opinion, very kind-heartedly, in a very nice tone. Yeah, but just say you be with them, like even if they make the mistake, you still be there for them. That's what parents should do. Yeah. So when you then screw up as a child or as a friend, and you know they come and come and complain back to you that, hey, I made the mistake, yo, you were right, and all that. No, you don't then go back then and be like, you see, I was right. That's the mistake most of our parents make. They are so eager to be right. They always want to win an argument rather than just being there for the child. It's tough. Anyway, that's going to be the other arm, and I shall begin drawing it. I shouldn't overthink this. I should just draw, you know. I've got thousands of panels to do in my lifetime. So let me just execute. Oh, look at that. We've been here an hour and 20 minutes. No, an hour and 1 minute. Hmm. Sometimes you just forget, you know. All right, let me use this. Yo, let me reduce the size of that. I need those big eyebrows, man. You need to do those big eyebrows a lot more. Please don't look ugly. Sometimes when I'm drawing, I'll be begging my work not to look ugly. When it's the fate of how that piece looks is literally in my hands. My issue is that I just want to get it first time. I just want to get it first time. I don't want to have to draw and draw and draw and draw and draw and draw. I just want to get it once, you know? Damn it. I already know I've made a mistake. Uh, it's mad in the dunya. I swear, if I flip this stuff and her jaw is skewed, I'll be so pissed off. Ah, chum. Where did I learn this type of mouth? I learned it from Jorge Jimenez and Dan Mora. They usually use very graphic shapes for their mouth. And unlike a manga where they are just like a lot of the times they're just like you just put them out like this and just put that and they are done with drawing the mouth. They're still Western artists, even though they like that manga style a lot. So they still have stuff like this. And then what they'll then do is that they'll take white and just like where's the light coming from again? It's coming from beneath. Yeah, so they just put the white like this. Something like that. Chomchin chomchin. Anyways, I think I should it be looking directly at the thing or at the arm? At the arm. Yes. I swear. Where's my flipping? Or do I need to like expand my stuff? I'm looking for something, but I can't find it. I don't know why. Like I can't find it. Where is it? Where's my flip screen? The fact I have to do it manually. You see what I'm saying? It pisses me off so much, man. What the hell? God. That's why, like, you are doing comic book traditionally, you suffer, eh? And you have to respect all these guys that still work traditionally. I mean, it's so nice the fact that you can fix your problems, but still pisses me off. Why I gotta fix it? Ransford, how are you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. How's your day going? You have English papers tomorrow. Yeah. Damn, man. Damn. English is never easy. I wish you good luck, my friend. Wish you good luck. Have you studied? Shouldn't you be sleeping, like resting your brain? I don't know if they've started. I mean, if you guys have started, it definitely means like, you know, Nigerians have started. Don't they write it at the same time? I think they write it at the same time. I cham. I'm going to have to look for that tab and set it up. You should go to sleep, my friend, so that you can. What time is the exam papers? Is it in the morning or like late in the afternoon? Is it like around? Yeah, we didn't do anything like that. Like we didn't do orals. We just did normal English. Like, is that what they call orals? Oh, that's what they call orals. Yeah. Yeah, all my intelligence finished in back in secondary school. Yeah, I did that one. I did that one. I remember how um there are times when you not understand the answers and you just be like they just be like A, B, C, D. And then you have to shade B, C, or D. Yo, there was a time like when I was doing math every time I was doing math and we had like answers like that, I'll just like be making patterns because I didn't know anything about math at that time. Oh, 8 or 8:30 in the morning. Yo, bro, go to bed. It needs to be fresh. Or did you sleep in the afternoon? Did you sleep in the daytime? You need to go and have some rest so that your brain can have that morning freshness, ready to tackle the day. Yeah. And try not to eat before the exam papers. That's the only bit of advice I can give. Try not to eat during before exams. Yeah. Fast. Do a little bit of light fasting. Yes, I am. I'm following his YouTube channel, but this is not his YouTube channel in particular. This is a channel called VZA. They do. I think they mostly post comic book artist content. So, anyways. Oh, he slept in the afternoon at home. All right, because you didn't have papers today. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, muzzle top. Um. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what I'm drawing. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate the compliment. Balut. Mhm. I swear I'm going to wake up in the morning and hate this drawing, but I'll stick with it. It happens. I need it to be abrupt. I need it to be. No, this is Jim Lee. His name is Jim Lee. His name is Jim Lee. He's one of my favorites. That's my favorite. Whenever I'm watching like his videos like this, it just tends to make me a bit more intelligent. It improves my, what do they call that stuff? drawing IQ. Because he just like he might just do something or just say one thing that will just like open my eyes. And I'll be like, oh, so that's how they do it. Yeah. Oh, so that's the right way to approach it, you know? And like just seeing his art, like looking at how fast he is in comparison to how snail like my own execution is, it just, gives you some motivation, positive motivation of what I can be as an artist myself. What am I looking at? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Clarity is the most important thing when you're making comics. Clarity. You have to make what's going on very clear, you know? Sometimes I just wish I could just sit and detail the way I want. I mean, I can, but there's so much to do. Liverpool. Hmm. Yeah, I think I messed up with that one. You cannot reason with a tiger when your head it's in its mouth. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. We don't go. We don't go. We don't go. Come on. Come on now. Come on now. All right, that's not too terrible. Ay, ay, ay.
Thumbs up, right? 2 years. So from here, we go to Pokemon. And I draw a center line down here, center line here, a line, the center line here about halfway. Those are the 4 quadrants. About halfway between the top and bottom is where you don't want to put the eyes. Halfway between here and here. Maybe the top part of the eyes. The eyes go, take a half of that. So take a half of this, half of that, and half of this. Right here. So it's a half of half of a half. 1/8. 1/8 of the distance from here to here. Yeah. We added a draw long channel. Like there. All right, is that open there? Yeah. All right, great. A draw long channel. The eye is roughly. Put this eye in between this part and this part. Like there should be enough space here and here to be about the same. The space between these two eyes is roughly this distance is roughly the same distance as these eyes. And these eyes, as you can see, are triangles.
Where's my light coming from?
Here, this is the triangle. You take that center point and you move it this way. So it's like this. There should be a slight angle to that. All right. Back it up. Back it up. All right. Draw a light V. There we go, right there. This V comes out roughly to the midpoint. Okay. Does that help? So that's not a point. We're going to clean up the sides of that oval. Let's tighten it up just a little bit. Okay. And then define the bottom here as the chin. So we're just adding we're adding straight lines at edges of the ovals to kind of just create some sharpness. So, have you guys straighten out this curve? So, this angle forms a V. That's a pretty proper V. So, if you've got this shape V and you've got this equilateral triangle, where each triangle length is the same distance, you have to form this part of the illustration. God's perfect. I'm making this up as we go along. We'll keep that away. Now, for the ears, drop the neck down. He's got a pretty manly neck. Very stout. And then at the bottom of this triangle, bit above this triangle. Draw the shoulders. Okay. And this angle, really, this is a isosceles triangle. Correct. 90 degrees. 30. 60. Okay. All right, now, the all important thing on this character is where the nose is. The nose goes from this point, and we're going to go down, say, halfway. That halfway point. If you want to figure out where that halfway point is, you can just measure it. Take that, fold the piece of paper in half. This is a super thick piece of paper, so it's not very easy. Okay. And then it's hard. There's the half. That's how I actually figure out half. If I'm drawing something that where I can draw halfway point, I just take a piece of paper. And fold half. Where this is not where the nose is, unless you have one nose. The nose is going to be about 2/3 of the distance from this to this. So roughly right about here. Okay. So when you think about the side of his head, okay, the nose comes out like this. Right? But because the fabric comes down, catches the tip of the nose, and comes out like that. That's how Spider-Man.
Okay, I think I'll stop the video, the stream here. I will continue tomorrow. It's going so well so far. Really need to finish this page as soon as possible. But anyways, thank you guys for the company. Thanks Grey Ghost, thanks Ransford, thank you Scott, and thank you Steve. I appreciate the company. Anyways, guys, I'll see you tomorrow.